For example, they owed Penguin Random House $200,000. Wait, what? Why are there so many comic book shops out there doing scuzzy things? I don't get it. Unfortunately, we have another one to talk about today. Hi, I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and today we're talking about Frankie's Comics. I've had a lot of people reach out to me wanting me to cover this story, so I do feel like it's important to talk about it. I hesitated at first. Other people have mentioned it. I think people are fairly aware of what's going on with Frankie's in general, but admittedly, that's not everybody. And there's one element to it that I really want to talk about, which is how they're continuing to operate to this day. So let's talk about Frankie's Comics. What is it? Frankie's Comics was a physical store in North Carolina. Why are so many of these stores based in North Carolina having issues? Anyways, they were based in Apex, North Carolina. They closed their store last year and focused on a digital online store presence to move on to things like Whatnot and, basically start selling online. Can't blame them, if they think that the physical store was too much to maintain. That's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. Back in January, they declared bankruptcy. Also, of course, I don't have a problem with that. That's really sad that that had to happen. Frankie's basically they were huge in the online exclusive variant game, right? The exclusive covers. They were probably most famous for the variant where it was the first cover appearance of Null. That was an extremely famous comic that they did. And yeah, they did that cover around the same time that the Venom 3 third printing came out. So pretty big book, and a lot of people had their eyes on. Really, the element to this is they said that their revenue was being outpaced by their debts. And the published list of that debts is pretty intense. For example, they owed Penguin Random House $200,000. Wait, what? Wow, okay, that's a lot of money. They owed a lot of publishing companies money. They owed a lot of comic distributors money, payment servicing processes, and a lot of banks a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, we're talking they owed PayPal like upwards of $150,000 spread across a few different accounts. In fact, the total adds up to close to $1 million. Wait, what? So something that came out from Kevin, the owner of Frankie's Comics, is that they had to, under court order, hold orders. They couldn't ship them out. Those were the assets that were being held as part of the court proceedings, as I understand it. Not a lawyer. I don't really dive into that stuff too much. But that makes sense. A lot of people have said that that is something that would happen in this proceeding. Okay, fine. But here's where it starts to get really smelly. They're continuing to operate, and they have been for a long time continuing to operate on Whatnot. And I don't mean like kind of sort of operating on Whatnot. I mean like, no, they're really operating on Whatnot. They have a stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. When I'm recording this, and they have 15,000 followers, over 63,000 items sold. Yeah, they're continuing to operate quite a bit over on Whatnot. This is a clip that somebody put out from a few days ago. But yeah, there are a bunch of customers who still are owed their comic books that they've been holding on to. This is similar to other things I've reported on recently where comics aren't being sent out. Now, again, they say it's due to bankruptcy, and there is some plausibility to that, but then they're continuing to operate in a way that is very interesting in other means, like Whatnot. And then that brings us to the most recent update from Frankie's, which is their update on their website about their bankruptcy information. Dear Frankie's customer, as you may have heard, Frankie's is undergoing a reorganization under Chapter 11 of the Bankruptcy Code. As part of the reorganization, Frankie's has a court-approved Chapter 11 plan. Please review the following for more information. So basically, they say on June 22nd, 2023, the Bankruptcy Court approved their restructuring plan, and it includes all orders placed before December 4th, 2022 that have not been fulfilled. And the requirements for handling pre-bankruptcy orders are, if we have the comic in hand, we will ship it to the customer. Great. If the comic requires grading, signing, or remarking, we will ship the raw comic if available. Wait, what? If we don't have the comic, we will contact the customer to offer 3 replacement options. The customer can choose from these options. To implement the plan, we will follow these steps. Orders for each customer will be packed and sent, starting with those whose last names begin with the end of the alphabet. So Z. If we don't have the comic, we will reach out to the customer via email and provide 3 replacement options that closely match the original purchase item, artist, title, and character, although again, not graded or signed, or signed and graded, Orders will be shipped using USPS First Class, Priority, or FedEx. We will not use USPS Media Mail for any orders. Okay, that's also good. Frequently asked questions. When will my specific order ship? Currently, we don't have a definitive answer. We'll begin processing customers' last name starting with Z. Due to a large number of orders, this could take a significant amount of time. Will I receive exactly what I ordered? If we have the comic in stock, yes. If. You will receive it. However, we will not be grading any comics. Will refunds be offered? Unfortunately, we will not be offering any refunds. When will you start shipping orders? Orders will commence shipping July 7th, 2023. How will I be notified about my order's shipment? Once we generate the shipping label, you'll receive an email containing the tracking numbers. How can I contact you if I have further questions? Please read through the document and then email them if you have any questions. And as we see so often, if you go to their Facebook, they've limited who can respond to this. So really, there's just a lot going on there that unfortunately probably won't add up to customers getting what they asked for in a lot of cases. More comics that were supposed to be graded not arriving. There's other problems here too. Kevin, the owner, has recently reached out to artists asking for commissions, but they have outstanding artists that they also owe money to. So, I mean, for example, Kevin was recently hitting up Ariel Diaz for commissions. So that just gives you an idea what I'm talking about. And yes, they do have an F from the Better Business Bureau, which is pretty hard to do. So there is that as well. You can find Reddit posts where people are asking about people having their books stuck. You can find information on the CGC forums about people talking about Frankie's comics and not getting their stuff back. There is information out there all over the place about this, which is part of the reason why that I sort of debated even making a video on it. But it does go to show you that, like, you know, there's people out there that may want to engage on Whatnot or other platforms with Frankie's comics, and you should be armed with information about what's going on. So for me, it comes down to a lot of the continued sales practices on Whatnot. And look, they're still selling comic books on Whatnot. Some of those comics are graded. There's a really high likelihood that some of the comic books that people are waiting for were sold on Whatnot. That to me is just where this gets really icky. So how do you feel about the Frankie's comic situation? What was your experiences? I know a lot of you are going to have information to add in the comments down below, and I really want to hear about it. I know there's a lot of information I probably didn't get to, but again, I wasn't well versed on what was happening with Frankie's, and I've just been hit up by a lot of people saying that I should cover it on my channel to kind of shine some exposure on it, especially with some of the other things we've been dealing with. So I thought that was a good idea, and hopefully you guys agree. Let me know in the comments down below. On your way down to the comments, you can hit the join button and consider becoming a channel member. That does help me out quite a bit. And I really want to thank all those channel members whose names are scrolling by on the screen right now. And until next time, I just want to remind you, as always, hey, 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 hey. Read comics every day.